what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new PlunderStrong figures by Lone Coconut. And as you can see, we have three different characters. On the left, we have Captain BlackJak. In the middle, we have a Raider Blitz. And on the right, we have Drench Typhoon. I had trouble remembering their names, so I had to write them down. But yeah, I'm very excited about these figures. I'm a huge fan of the Plunderling figures. And just the folks over there are freaking awesome. They sent these out to me to review. I did back the Kickstarter, so I have some on the way, but these ones were sent to me and I'm really excited to talk about them. Not only are we going to talk about these three figures, we're also going to take a look at these accessory kits that they sent along. We have this PlunderStrong green muscle crate and a boom crate. So we have some additional accessories. But let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the packaging. As you can see here, these guys come in some really cool looking packaging where we have like this window in the front where you're able to see the figure, but then we have this cool graphic surrounding the window that kind of looks like one of the PlunderStrongs. So and then on the back of the boxes, we get some really awesome photography of the PlunderStrongs, and these photos were taken by Pablo Lopez. Huge shout out to Pablo. I'm so happy that he was able to be involved in these. He's a really talented photographer. Be sure to check him out on Instagram. I'll leave a link to his stuff in the description below. But I love the way the packaging looks on these figures. It's collector friendly and all that good stuff. But enough about the pretty boxes. Let's go ahead and get these guys out and take a look. Alright, so here we have all three of the PlunderStrongs out of their boxes, and as you can see, these guys came out freaking awesome. I love what we have going on here. Lone Coconut did a great job on these. I love the vibrant colors and the cartoony vibe. These things are just so much fun. In fact, they're so much fun that it kind of distracted me from doing this video because me and my daughter were having so much fun unboxing these and playing around with them that it took me a while to get back to recording here. But yeah, man, these things are a blast. I freaking love them. But let's go ahead and take a look at each one of these individually, and then we'll take a look at the accessories and all that good stuff. But yeah, check them out. So we're going to start off with Raider Blitz. I think that's his name. I'm always going to mix up their names or flip their names or get them wrong. So let me just make sure that I have it. Yeah, it's Raider Blitz. But this is a really cool looking figure. I love the bright green colors. I like how these guys are just big and goofy, but they're trying to look like tough, you know? It's hilarious. But this guy is really, really nice. There's not a whole lot going on with the sculpt on the actual figure. It's very smooth. There's not a lot of like texture or detail or, you know, there's not a lot of depth to the sculpt. It's very smooth and simple looking because they were trying to go for like an animated look. And I think that it came across very well. These things definitely look like they jumped right out of a cartoon. So I think that's amazing. And they do a good job of like adding things onto these figures to make them feel different because these two right here are basically just repaints of each other. But as you could see, the Blitz Raider has like this strap and, you know, he has a bandana and stuff. So you put that on and it makes it feel, you know, a lot different from Captain BlackJak over here, who has the pimp jacket and the pirate hat and stuff, you know. So yeah, I think it's very cool. These figures obviously look very similar, but the different colors and the different attachments make them feel different and unique. Let's go ahead and take a look at BlackJak real quick. Man, this is awesome. I have Captain Ash, who's the Plunderling version of this here, and it's going to be cool to see them together, but he looks pretty pissed off. And yeah, I do like the jacket. The jacket has some holes in the back because these things come with like little hooks that you could attach to like the jacket or the straps or whatever, and the hooks could be used to hold on to their swords. I'm not a big fan of those things, so I just leave them off, but that's what those holes are for. But let's go ahead and see what he looks like without the jacket. Yeah, that's awesome. And I love the way that you could, like, you know, switch the accessories between these guys to kind of just change things up and make them feel unique in a way. If you want to make like if you want to make a custom Plunderling that's like your design, you could kind of switch things up. Yeah, see, little things like that are a lot of fun. This probably would have worked better if I took this strap off, but it's okay. But yeah, I love the fun factor with things like that, you know. That's a lot of fun to be able to like switch around the accessories and make things feel unique and your own in a way, you know. But yeah, Captain BlackJak is really cool. The belts and the shorts are the same. All the sculpt is the same between these two figures. There's like nothing different. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Typhoon Drench or Drench Typhoon. And this guy definitely feels a little bit more unique from the other two because obviously he has like these tentacles for legs. And he's like this translucent green color. So this one definitely feels unique, but he looks really, really cool. This translucent green looks awesome. I can't wait to see what people do with photos and stuff because I'm sure this will catch light in a really interesting looking way. And you know, when he has his tentacles like this, he looks a little smaller than the other PlunderStrongs, but if you flip the lower halves around, he could look like super tall. Check that out. So that'll be cool in the display to have like a bunch of different Plunderlings and PlunderStrongs and Plunderlongs hanging around and have this guy kind of like rising up above all of them. That's pretty dope. And then you could even like flatten this out to make it look a little different as well. So yeah, these tentacle leg things have a lot of options. I wonder if we could go like halfway with it. Oh yeah, look at that. I don't know if they're strong enough to hold up. Maybe. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Damn. Yeah, the tentacles on him are pretty cool. So this one definitely feels a lot more unique compared to the other two, but they're all awesome. And then he does have like this mohawk thing. Almost forgot to mention that. And that's held on by a magnet. All the head accessories are just held on by magnets. You could... He's got like a translucent mohawk. But yeah, I like the magnet feature on these guys. I think that's awesome. And like I said, this dude feels pretty unique compared to the other ones. But all of them look and feel unique. But when you start looking at things, you kind of go, oh yeah, this is a repaint of that. But this guy feels like 100% his own, really. But man, these things are so dope. I love the way they turned out. But let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories they come with because each of them have a bunch of really fun stuff. And when it comes to accessories, there are things that they all come with, like multiple heads and multiple sets of hands. When it comes to the hands, each one of them comes with a set of open hands and then a set of gripping hands. And for the head sculpts, all the head sculpts that they come with are the same between the three figures. Each of them comes with a like stoic, just neutral looking head sculpt. Each of them come with like a madder looking head sculpt, and then each of them have like a straight up screaming looking head sculpt. And all of these head sculpts are pretty much the same except for some minor details, mostly in the ears. Like Captain BlackJak has like earrings in his ears, and the Drench Typhoon has more like amphibian looking ears. But aside from that, the facial expressions are exactly the same between all the alternate heads for these figures. And then as far as individual accessories, Raider Blitz comes with this bandana that's held on with the magnet. It sits very nicely on his different heads. And then he also comes with a really good looking sword that has a nice metallic blade, and then the handle is a really nice gold color. This is sculpted very well and he looks awesome holding on to it. And then he also comes with this big old piece of meat with a bone in it. And as you can see, he can hold on to it with the gripping hand with no issues at all. I have no concerns about it falling out of the grip or anything. It fits in there very nicely. And yeah, this is really cool. This is the type of accessory I like a lot when it comes to Plunderlings. You know, it's something different. I like the style of it too. The sculpt doesn't have a whole lot of texture. It's smooth and matches the look of the figure. So that's a lot of fun. And if you have this screaming head on your figure, you could kind of make it look like he's eating or taking a bite or something. So that is awesome. A lot of fun here. And then Captain BlackJak comes with this big old cannon. And this thing is really, really dope. I love the style of it, you know. It kind of looks like it's made out of clay or something. It looks very primitive and very much in line with the whole like feel of Plunderlings. And this is cool, man. I like the way this looks a lot. We've got like these stripes on the bigger part of it. I don't know exactly what these stripes are, but it looks cool. And then on the back we have like a little fuse. And we'll take another look at this in a minute because there are some attachments that you could put on here, but they don't come with Captain BlackJak. It's part of one of the expansion pieces. But as far as for BlackJak, he comes with this, and then he also has the jacket that we've already looked at, and then his cool little pirate hat that sits on his head with the magnet, just like the bandana on Raider Blitz. And the Drench Typhoon also has a sword, but his sword is pretty freaking crazy. Check this thing out. I don't even know how to describe it. There's like a, you know, like a main blade, and then there's mini blades on the edge of the main blade. It kind of looks like a saw or something, you know. Whatever he cuts, it's going to get messy. It's not going to be a very clean cut. It looks like this thing will definitely mess something up, but I think it's very cool. The blade does have that really nice metallic look, and then the handle has some gold effects. It's very well sculpted and looks nice. So this is pretty awesome. And then he does have like these forearm gauntlets that have these fins on them. And yeah, these look cool too. And it kind of adds to the look. And you could take these off him and put them onto the other characters too. So that's always a nice option to have. And each Plunder Strong comes with a set of fists for your Plunderlings. So that's pretty cool. If you have the Plunderlings that match in color, you know, these come with some fists for them. Unfortunately, for mine, Captain BlackJak came with 2 right hands for Captain Ash. So that was kind of a QC issue. But for the other ones, it came with both the left and the right. And all these guys come with some great accessories, but if you want more accessories, there are some add-on packs that you could buy. So the first one that we're going to look at is the PlunderStrong Green Muscle Crate. And this is basically just some more hands, which is really nice because we get a set of open hands that have a magnet in the middle. That could be useful. And one thing that's really cool about these open magnetized hands is that you could actually use them to have the PlunderStrongs palm onto the heads of the Plunderlings. I think this is a whole lot of fun. I do wish that the magnets were a little bit stronger, but I still think this is a really cool feature. We get a pair of fists, and then for this last set of hands, it's kind of like I'm not even sure how to describe it. It's kind of like he's got his pinky up, and then the fingers are in a tight gripping position, and there's kind of like a knockout in there, so maybe he could hold on to like a straw or something like that. I don't know, but this is interesting, so I'm curious to see how these get used, but I really like the open hands and the fists. Those are going to get a lot of use from me for sure. And another expansion pack that's available is the PlunderStrong Boom Crate. And the Boom Crate comes with these 4 different things that you could stick into the cannon for Captain BlackJak. First off, we have just like a regular cannonball. Then we have like a ball of clay. I think that's what this is. We have a spiked cannonball. And then we have a coconut. And then it does come with this like arm so that you could stick this in here. And then stick whichever one you want onto the end of it. And you could have it to where the projectile is just kind of sitting at the end of the cannon. And then, of course, he does have this big old explosion effect. And it's actually a little heavy. Not heavy, but it kind of makes the figure off balance. So you want to be aware of that. But yeah, you could stick like the different cannonball pieces on the front, and you can make it look like this is being shot out from the cannon. Boom, that's pretty cool. Yeah, this is a fun accessory pack too. You could add a little bit to the weapons. Because Captain BlackJak does not come with any of this stuff, this definitely adds a little bit of fun, and it's a nice option to have. And before we get into a bunch of size comparisons, I wanted to show you guys the Plunderlings along with a bunch of PlunderStrongs in different positions. Over here we have the Drench Typhoon up in the air on his tentacles, looking like taller than everybody and just much bigger. And then over here we have Captain BlackJak kind of hunched over. And, you know, I love that you could position him like this. We'll talk about it a little bit more in the articulation. But I like that you can pose him in a way that makes him look different than another PlunderStrong, you know. Obviously, he still looks like a, you know, part of the Plunder species or whatever. But he doesn't look quite like a PlunderStrong. He looks like a Plunder Ogre or something like that. And I think that's so dope because these figures look very similar. So anything you could do to make something feel a little bit different and diversify the look of the shelf or the look of the collection, I think that's awesome, and that's a whole lot of fun. So I love the fact that you could get him into a position like this that still looks natural and, you know, part of the collection, but looks different than something that it's just a repaint of. All right, so now for some quick size comparisons. Here we have the Raider Blitz alongside the Plunderlings, Captain Teal on the left, and on the right we have Captain Ash. And then next up, we have him alongside one of the Guardians of the Horde. On the opposite side, we have the Spiro Toys Legions Con exclusive Tanger. And then here we have him alongside the NECA cartoon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo and the IDW Comics Raphael. And then here we have him alongside the G.I. Joe Classified Firefly and a Star Wars Black Series Imperial Trooper. And then here we have him alongside the Spiro Toys Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Pale. On the opposite side, we have one of the Insist Creations Stranger from Beyond Martians. And for no other reason other than the fact they're all bright and colorful and cartoony, here we have them alongside the Shocker Toys Scud, the Disposable Assassin. On the opposite side, we have the Boss Fight Studios Bucky O'Hare. And last but not least, here we have them alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. And considering the unique and awkward kind of design that these guys have, I think they did a great job of incorporating as much articulation as possible and making it to where these guys are just a whole lot of fun to play with. There's some really interesting things going on here, so I'm excited to take a look. But let's go ahead and start off at the head. So he does have a ball hinge at the head, so his head is able to look up to about right there, which is really nice. And then he could look down to only to right there, but that's okay. Then he could look side to side, and there's a little bit of tilt in there. So pretty good movement at the head, but the thing that's really impressive on these guys is the torso. Like, what they did here on the torso is pretty crazy. Check this out. He could crunch forward, or it's not really like a crunch. He could like hunch forward to about right there, and that is pretty crazy. And it kind of makes it to where it's like a completely different design for the character. It makes him look a little smaller. Like, look at that. That's a cool look, you know? And again, it adds some like diversity to what we have going on. It makes these guys feel way different than each other. But yeah, look at that. That is crazy. And the fact that his head goes up so much really helps with this whole situation here. That is so cool. Man, that's crazy. And then he does have butterfly joints at the shoulders, and these are pretty good, but you know, because of the shape, you're not going to get that much out of it, but you can get enough to put his hands together. And you could probably get him into some cool like punching poses and things like that. I don't know, it may take some work because the upper chest is kind of a weird shape, but yeah, I appreciate that they put any type of butterfly joint in here. I wish, you know, Hasbro Hulk figures had a butterfly joint that went forward this much. Even though it's not a lot, it's still a pretty respectable amount considering the shape and design. So yeah, good stuff at the butterfly joints there at the shoulders. And then he does have ball jointed shoulders, so they can go all the way around. And then his arms could come up to about right there, which is nice. And then he does have upper bicep swivel. There we go, upper bicep swivel. He has single jointed elbows, but they get a pretty good bend. Look at that, a little bit more than 90. And then he does have a swivel at the wrist and a hinge. The weapon gripping hands have a vertical hinge, which is nice for those sword swinging poses. And then for the legs, we do have like these ball joints in there. So the upper thigh is able to rotate on that ball joint, but then there's also an upper thigh swivel right here at the shorts. So you get a lot of movement there. He could kick forward to about right there, which is pretty cool. Pretty good amount. Let's see, can he kick to the side? He can. Bam! Who wants to get kicked by a PlunderStrong? Boom! Nice. And then he does have double jointed knees. There we go. Boom. Dang, that's pretty good. And then at the foot, he has a hinge that goes, his feet are a little tight. Let's see which one's looser. Ah, there we go. His foot could go forward to right there, and then they could come up to right there. And there's no lower leg swivel or anything like that. But yeah, man, like I said, so much articulation in these guys. Oh, he does have a waist swivel too. I forgot about that. But yeah, these guys are so much fun to play with. You could definitely, they're definitely more posable than you'd imagine. You know, when you just see them, you wouldn't think that you'd be able to get them in all these cool poses, you know. But they're definitely capable of doing some cool things. And more importantly, they're just fun to mess around with, you know. Get them into some running poses. Yeah, man, they did a great job with the articulation, especially considering the weird design and awkward shape that these big dudes have. Yeah, I think they killed it with the articulation. Alrighty, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, these things are incredibly enjoyable. I'm having so much fun playing around with them. I had a blast with the Plunderlings, and now I'm having even more fun with these guys. I love the way they turned out. I really like the designs of the bigger like plunder species because it just cracks me up, you know. They're like big and, you know, trying to be tough, but they just look so goofy and cute and colorful, and I just really like the designs. And these figures are so much fun to play with. They stuffed in a bunch of really great articulation. I feel like these guys are even more posable than the Plunderlings, especially because of the way they did the torso. There's a lot of fun to be had there. All the accessories that these guys come with, add to the enjoyment. I love the different heads, the different hands, the unique weapons, and I like how you could get the add-on packs to give them even more accessories. That's an awesome option to have, so it's very cool that Lone Coconut did that. And yeah, man, I've got to say, I just love what they have going on. I love like original characters, original properties, especially something like this that really feels, in my opinion, geared towards like kids in tone. But then with the figures, they're definitely geared towards action figure lovers. And that's like a really interesting dynamic in my opinion. So I really like it. I love the fact that me and my daughter can enjoy these together. We have a lot of fun playing around with them. And she's been really looking forward to these. She loves the Plunderlings. She has a bunch of them. In fact, like I bought myself one or two. I had to buy a bunch more for her. So she actually collects them and she's really into them. So yeah, man, I love it. I love it. I love these things for a lot of different reasons, you know. I think Lone Coconut has something very special on their hands, and I really hope that they continue to push this and grow, and I hope that people love these things because they are freaking awesome. Overall, I think these guys came out really nice, and I'm having a lot of fun with them. But if I had to point out like something that could be seen as a flaw, I would say that some of the joints are a little loose, the hips can be a little loose, and the shoulders can get loose too. I mean, it's not really that the shoulders get loose, but when I'm playing around with the figures and I'm engaging the butterfly joints, the shoulder joint itself can kind of pop off if I push it too far. But you know, you could clip it all back together and it's not a problem at all, but I could see it being a little frustrating for some people. But aside from that, as somebody that backed the project and somebody that's a big fan of the whole Plunderlings thing, I'm very satisfied with the way these turned out and I'm having a blast messing with them. And I want to give a huge thank you to the folks over there for sending these out to me. Like I said before, I did back the Kickstarter, so I have some of these on the way, but they were still nice enough to send these out for me to review, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. And with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. Thank you very much. Peace.